And today I'm working on a Rolex, and this is a ladies Rolex. It's a 2030 movement, and we have nearly an hour's worth of video to go through. And so I'm going to start by removing this movement from the case naturally. Right, and to start with, I'm just going to remove the crown. And the movement is held in by two case clamps. And if I just slightly loosen the screws for these case clamps, don't have to remove them completely. And once it's loosened, I can just slide the case clamp across and just re-secure that screw. And those case clamps can stay in that position for the duration of the service. There's no problems there. And with those case clamps loosened, I've been able to remove the movement from the case, and I'm just replacing the crown and stem so that I can align the hands ready to remove them. And for that, I'm going to use a bit of poly bag to protect the dial, and use my hand lifting tools to just ease those hands off. Now the dial isn't secured to the movement in any way, shape or form. It's actually just friction fit, so I've just lifted that up and I can remove the dial just as easy as that. And in a similar manner, the calendar wheel is also not secured in any way. It's just friction fit by order of the calendar jumper spring. And now I'll just remove the hour wheel and the calendar wheel. And also I have to remove the cannon pinion, and for that I have this special cannon pinion tool which just slides over the cannon pinion, and I can grip it and it will extract very easily. So with that done, I'll just remove the calendar jumper spring as well. So I'll flip the movement over, and I'll just start by removing the automatic work, which is secured by these three screws. And of course, with the screws loosened and removed, I'm just adding a little bit of pressure to the winder, as if I'm winding the watch up, but not quite. And that allows me to just lift the automatic works away in one big unit. And so I'm just removing the ratchet wheel, and gosh, that ratchet wheel does look a bit dirty. Of course, before I did this, I removed any residual power left in the mainspring. So now I'll just remove the click and click spring. And the click is secured with this one shouldered screw. Now using two pairs of tweezers to remove that click spring to help to prevent it from flying across the room. Now there's some intermediate wheels underneath this little cover plate, so I'll just remove those. Now with the old oil, it's a little bit sticky, and the one of the intermediate wheels here is just stuck to the cover plate. And just note the orientation of that tension spring. That's good, and with those removed, I'll just remove the balance. And with the balance removed, I'll remove the pallets. Now removing the barrel bridge. Now this is held down with 2 screws, which I'll just loosen and remove. Now I can take off the barrel bridge. And now let's remove the train wheel bridge, which in this case is held down with 3 screws. Okay, and that exposes the train of wheels. And we'll take out the second pivot and continue to remove the train of wheels and the barrel. Now the minute pinion is located underneath this cover plate, which is held down by 2 screws, so I'm just removing those. And note that there's a tension spring underneath there, which is sticky with old oil, so that's stuck to my tweezers there, look. And finally we have the balance hack, which just slides out of position. There we go. So flipping it back over, we'll just remove the keyless work, and we'll start off with the setting lever spring, obviously. Again, using 2 pairs of tweezers. I don't want this yoke spring to flick across the room. They have a tendency to do that, so this gives me a little bit more control. Actually, what I'll do is I'll remove the yoke first. That just makes it easier. There we go. There's a little spring that holds down the setting lever on this Rolex 2030 movement, so I'll just remove that spring, and the setting lever is just held in place, and it can just slide out. There we go. So I'll just remove the stem again. And with that, the main part of the watch is disassembled now, which is good. But what I like to do is when I'm cleaning these in the watch cleaning machine, I like to protect the balance, and one of the best ways of doing that is to remount it back onto the movement plate. So I'm just re-securing the balance onto the main plate, and that will be ready for servicing. And I like to keep the upper and lower jewel settings in place when I'm cleaning these movements. And I clean them manually afterwards. Now removing the mainspring from the barrel. I'll start with the barrel arbor here. Just remove. I'm just unwinding the mainspring out of the main barrel. And with that done, I'll just take apart the automatic work, which is held, the main oscillating weight is held to the automatic work with one little clip. I've undone that clip, removed the oscillating weight from the automatic works, and there's 2 screws holding down the plate, so I'll just undo those. Good, and I'll remove the plate which exposes the reversing wheels. Again, a little bit sticky, so I'll just use a pair of tweezers here, just extract. That's it. There we go. Yeah, and with that pinion removed, that's completely disassembled now and ready for cleaning. So now the movement has been cleaned through the watch cleaning machine, and I'm just putting it all back together. So we'll start by assembling the barrel with the mainspring, and I've reinserted the mainspring using my mainspring winders. I have a separate video showing how to do that. So you can look for that on my channel. So I've put the barrel arbor back in place. I'm just lubricating that so I can put the barrel cap back in place. So that's done. Now I'm putting the minute pinion back, and so I'll just lubricate the top and bottom bearing. And remember, it had this little tension spring, so I'm just putting that back in place, and then I can put the minute pinion through the exposed hole there, you can see. Which is all good, and so now I'll just secure it with the cover plate. And you may remember this is secured with 2 screws, so I'll just put those back in place. Excellent. Now I'll just put the barrel in its home, and I've cleaned the lower jewel of the for the escape wheel. I'm just using an automatic oiler to make sure the lubrication is in place for the escape wheel. I'll show you how I removed the lower jewel in just a moment, and when I do the same for the train wheel bridge. Okay, so the escape wheel's back in place. I'm putting the fourth wheel and the third wheel. And there's no seconds wheel on this watch. If you may remember, there was a seconds pivot with a pinion. So I'll just you've seen I've put the hack there, and I'm just showing you now how I removed the escape wheel end stone, and so this just slides across and the end stone comes out naturally. I like to clean these manually after it's been through the watch cleaning machine. There's, of course, some people like to remove them before they go through the cleaning machine. Either way you do it, the same job gets done. The idea is that they end up spotless. So I've cleaned it, it's spotless. I'm just going to put it back in place. Some people do oil these before they put it back in place. I find that particularly awkward, and I like to use an automatic oiler. So that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so now the shock spring is secure, and I'm happy with that, so I'll just flip that over, and I'm going to use my automatic oiler here. So thank you for watching, and if you are new to my video content, then please consider subscribing. It's free, and you'll be informed when I publish new content. And you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. Also, be sure to visit my website, www.watchrepairtalk.com, and here you're going to find even more content and find out how you can watch my premium watch repair videos. And finally, you can support these videos and be able to have exclusive access to my premium watch repair videos by becoming a patron. Details in the description below.